Hi guys, today we're gonna watch his story. His story is just, I remember him, he just talks about stories. About stories of himself. So we searched up his story. He has 4 million subscribers. And he has 921 videos in total. Why does it show an iPhone 17 giveaway? Okay, let's look at his shorts. I subscribed to his channel by accident. So let's see. If I don't like it, I'll unsubscribe to his channel.
When a firefly bit me at a cookout, I dropped my burger and texted my boss, I quit.
He doesn't care about his burger. He doesn't care about his burger.
Because I knew I'd just been chosen. I'd seen every superhero movie ever made. A bug bites you. You wait.
Bro, did he watch every single Avengers, bro? Did you watch every single Avengers movie? Dude, if he watched every single Avengers movie, bro, he's filled with brain rot in his hands, bro.
Up swinging between skyscrapers. My brother asked if fireflies even have teeth, and I told him destiny doesn't answer stupid questions. I gave
Got roasted, Chet.
myself 1 week to master my powers and find my first bad guy. Day 1, I stood in my living room and snapped my wrist at the wall like I'd practiced 100 times. Nothing came out but a sneeze. I figured my powers just needed to warm up. Day 3, something twitched on my back, and 2 wings the size of my thumbnails unfolded behind me. I screamed so loud my neighbor banged on the wall. I could fly. I climbed onto my window ledge 2 floors up.
Can you
spread
fly?
my arms, and jumped. The wings flapped exactly hard enough to do absolutely nothing. I went straight down into the dumpster behind my building. Lying in a pile of banana peels, I noticed my hands were glowing. Not glowing.
I don't know if someone just called my name Xander. But that is my real name, actually. Just letting you know. But I didn't know someone just called my name. I didn't know. Someone did not call my name.
Cool, glowing like a nightlight in the middle of a sunny afternoon where nobody could even tell.
I think these stories are made up. Because how can your arms glow? Second of all, how did you even get wings and screamed at all the way to the neighbors? You can't even scream all the way to the neighbors. Third of all, how did he watch every single Avengers movie? This makes no sense, bro.
That was my big superpower. Not webs, not flying, not super strength. Just a human glow stick that was completely useless. The harder I panicked about wasting my one shot at being special, the brighter I burned, and I sat in that dumpster, ready to give up. That night, I walked to the corner store still glowing, ready to tell everyone the firefly thing was a bust. 2 guys came sprinting out with the register in their arms, headed right for the car parked behind me. I was so scared, I lit up like a stadium, so both of them threw their arms over their eyes and ran.
He lit up like a stadium. Bro, lit up like a stadium. Just get out of here, bro.
Face first into the streetlight pole. They dropped on the sidewalk next to the busted register. Out cold. I stood there glowing over 2 knocked out robbers. And the superpower I swore was useless had just stopped a robbery. I jumped up and down, then dropped to my knees crying. Because I really was special. Spider-Man could never.
How can you cry over a superpower? How can you cry over a superpower that can stop robberies? Robberies are a bad thing. You can just arrest them.
I was flying on a rescue helicopter outside the Grand Canyon when we got the call.
Please hurry. My sister needs help. This is Kate.
Ain't no way her sister needs help, bro. Bro, get out of here, bro.
We're at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. My arm's stuck under a boulder, and my little sister Dana is bleeding through the belt on her thigh.
I keyed my radio. We're coming to get you. Keep her talking. I checked my watch and announced to my team, it's 110 degrees down there.
110 degrees? We would have no AC. If we had no AC, we would be cooked. And we're about to be dead. And guys, like a few days ago this summer, Canada had a wildfire and it was like 152 degrees. Okay, I'm just joking, it wasn't. It was like 93. And then my tennis practice was canceled that Thursday because of the wildfire. What? Well, that made no sense.
The bleeding in that heat is no joke. Her sister has around 2 hours to survive, and we're 90 minutes away.
2 hours to survive. 2
I was
hours
flying
to...
on a rescue helicopter.
2 hours to survive, you're cooked.
Hello? She responded,
I sing to her when she's scared. She always tells me to shut up.
and her voice dropped.
She's not
Editor. That's not family friendly.
telling me to shut up anymore.
My heart was pounding, but they lost signal before I could respond. Our pilot made an announcement. The engine temperature is redlining. We have a decision to make. We can land and let her cool off, or keep going and risk destroying the engine. Setting down meant Dana bled out while the engine cooled. How far are we? He looked up ahead. Around 12 minutes away. I grabbed
What
the
the
safety
12
handle.
minutes you
We're going.
cooked?
We were 10 minutes away when smoke filled the cockpit and seeped into the passenger seats. Me and my crew braced ourselves as the helicopter started swerving
You're
downwards
dead, bro.
uncontrollably, and the canyon wall swung through the glass. We crashed into the canyon, and my eyes slowly shut, and I blacked out. I woke up hanging sideways in my straps.
Bro really
All four
blacked
of us
out.
were alive, and the handheld still worked. Dispatch answered my mayday. Second helicopter is heading towards you.
Wait, what was it?
The helicopter started swerving downwards uncontrollably, and the canyon wall swung through the glass. We crashed into the canyon, and my eyes slowly shut, and I blacked out. I woke up hanging sideways in my straps. All four of us were alive, and the handheld still worked. Dispatch
Is your handheld a Nokia? Let me ask you this conversation. Was it a Nokia? Is it a Nokia phone? The Nokia phone that is unbreakable? Huh, bro? Huh?
answered my mayday. Second helicopter is heading towards you. They're 2 hours from your position. That's the fastest we can do for you on a day like this. I started hyperventilating because Dana didn't have 2 hours, but there was no way to get her help any sooner. I keyed her channel, and when I heard her voice, I spoke. Kayla, our helicopter crashed and our supplies are destroyed. She responded,
Okay, but Dana stopped answering me a while ago. I've been singing to her, but I think my little sister is gone.
I pressed my forehead against my knees and she kept speaking.
It's so hot down here. Can you come sooner? I don't know how much longer.
You said it was 110 degrees. You don't even know it was 110 degrees, bro. You don't even know it's 110 degrees out there, bro.
I can hold on.
My eyes filled with tears. Kayla, the next crew is 2 hours out. I was flying on a
What the-
My mother had a chessboard set up in the living room, and
I play chess.
every few weeks, she'd make just one move on either side. It was like she was playing against herself in a game that lasted literal years. She taught me to
sad.
play too, but always on different boards.
That's sad.
Never once letting me touch the chessboard in the living room. That board is special, she'd say, moving a knight or bishop, then leaving it alone, sometimes for months. It had an address on it she claimed was just the store she bought the board. But then one summer she died, and I hosted a yard sale to clear her house. Immediately, a man I didn't know got out of his car and asked me if I had the special chessboard. I said, "How do you know about the chessboard?" But he just smiled and said, "Come with me." I shook my head because I wasn't
How is it a special chessboard? How is it a special chessboard? I don't even know. They can't even figure it out.
going to randomly
Let me see that title. The game lasted 50 years. Jesus.
follow a stranger. However, he pulled out a paper and wrote down an address. It was the same address on the chessboard. I got in my car to follow him, and we drove for an hour to the address. I walked to the front door,
An
and an old
hour? You're cooked, my boy. You cooked.
black woman in a wheelchair opened it.
This is not family friendly. He just called someone a black person. That's racist. Editor, can you please don't let me like censor the word? Can you censor the word CK space WOMAN? I'm just spelling it. I don't want to say it because it's not family friendly in this channel.
She said my mother's name and told me to come inside. She explained that her and my mother were best friends for over 50 years, but my mother was white, and growing up in the South in the 60s, she wasn't allowed to have black friends. So they played chess
Can you stop?
a male for over 50 years to keep their friendship, making one move each time the other's move arrived. I teared up, and when I walked into the living room, I saw a chessboard set up in the exact position my mother's was before she died. I sat down and played the exact move my mom would have made. My mother had a chessboard.
That's crazy. Is that Boss Baby? Is that Boss Baby? Is that Boss Baby?
My big brother Patrick showed me his VR headset and said, "Do you want to prank Grandpa?" I instantly nodded because I wanted to play with my older brother.
My brother made Grandpa relieve the war. Is it an explosion VR? Because if it is, we're cooked, bro.
But when Grandpa walked into the room, Patrick placed the headset on his head and laughed. "Check this out, Grandpa. It's modern technology." He turned it on, and Grandpa immediately started screaming and dropped to the ground, shouting, "Please make it stop." I got a bad feeling and asked, "Patrick, what did you do?" But he just pulled out his phone. I loaded up a realistic D-Day simulation on Call of Duty. Right now, Grandpa...
Call of Duty. You really put it on Call of Duty and your grandpa didn't want to take it anymore? Did your grandpa play Call of Duty like 50 years ago?
Sees grenades flying at him as well as blood and gunfire. My legs froze because Grandpa had served at D-Day, and it gave him PTSD for life. He was now being forced to relive it. I ran to...
Wait, he was at D-Day?
The headset off because Grandpa was curled in a ball crying, but Patrick pushed me to the floor. You said you wanted to prank him. I realized I wasn't...
Come shoot. Wait. Let me see. Okay, never mind. Let's see.
Strong enough to overpower him, and when I raised my head...
I'm gonna go in the closet. Even though my iPad's is like at 10%. How long have it been recording? 11. This is not like a really good video. This is like sad. These are like sad videos on the list.
I saw him sellotaping the VR headset to Grandpa so he couldn't take it off. Then he took his phone out and started recording. Grandpa sobbed, trying his hardest to remove the headset, and Patrick was doubled over laughing. This is going straight to TikTok. I knew I had to do something because Grandpa had given up trying to remove the headset and was now just praying at the sky. His best friends were getting ripped apart by mortar shells in front of him, and he could only watch. I tried to lunge past Patrick to reach Grandpa, but he stopped me with one hand like it was nothing. Then we both heard it. If I've done it once, I'll do it again. Grandpa was rising to his feet, his legs trembling, and I realized he fully believed the war he was seeing was real. He grabbed his cane and raised it like a gun, charging straight ahead. The cane hit Patrick in the chest, and he fell to the floor. I screamed, "Grandpa, stop!" But he was already on his knees, screaming, "Die, German, die!" He jabbed...
Grandpa really thought the war was real. Bro, D-Day was like in 1940.
Patrick in the sternum with his cane, thinking it was a knife. My heart pounded as I ran behind him and ripped as hard as I could, and the sellotaped headset finally came off. Grandpa suddenly jolted up, looking at me with wild, bloodshot eyes. "What's happening? Where's the enemy?" He pointed the cane at me. Then he looked down at his grandson under him. Patrick groaned and wheezed, and I realized his ribs...
Bo really thought it was real, and then he said, "Where was the enemy?" Bo really thought it was real. Bo thought it was real.
Were cracked and purple. Grandpa stared up at me, his face returning to normal. "I'm not at war." I shook my head while heaving. "No, Grandpa, you're at home. Now let's go get some donuts." I threw the VR headset onto Patrick's chest as we walked away. My big brother Patrick...
W, bro. His butter really cooked, bro. I imagine he killed his butter. If he killed his butter, bro, he would be cooked, bro.
A toddler was doing a crossword puzzle alone on the park bench, so
I love crossword, by the way.
crouched down and asked if she was lost. She swatted my hand away. "I am a 40-year-old woman, you absolute buffoon." I stepped back.
She's a 40-year-old. She's a goofy 40-year-old, even though she looks like a girl and she's short. She's short, bro.
I saw she was 2 feet tall, and I figured she was just a confused toddler who'd wandered off, so I scooped her up to bring her to the police station.
This is not the smallest woman, I just know that. It's just the smallest 40-year-old.
Absolutely convinced I was doing the right thing. She kicked and twisted the whole way.
Bro is the smallest 40-year-old ever.
There. Unhand me this instant, you enormous...
Bro really thought he had to get carried because she's not a taller. Bro really thought Bro really carried a 40-year-old. Bro really carried a 40-year-old that's 2 feet Okay, I don't know what they call this, Bill. Anyways.
Oh, this is kidnapping. I took out the tiny stuffed bear key ring from my pocket. You cutie, calm down now. I waved the bear in her face. Look, someone wants to meet you. She pinched me as hard as she could. You galloping imbecile. You must have the same intellectual capacity as a houseplant. A mom on another bench pulled her kid closer as I marched past. I held her out with 2 hands at arm's length until...
Bro thought she got kidnapped. Bro thought she got kidnapped?
got to the police station. She scoffed. Now you'll finally see what I was talking about. I took back the bear and set her on the counter. She smoothed her tiny blazer, lifted her chin, and nodded. Afternoon, officer. The officer nodded like they knew each other. Good to see you, Diane. He pointed at me. So, who's this guy? She rolled her eyes. Another idiot who thinks I'm a helpless child. He typed her name into his monitor and turned the screen around. Diane Holding, 43 years old, world's smallest woman. She straightened her tie, lifted her chin, and delivered her verdict. You've made a rather profound error in judgment. My mouth was open in shock, and the bear was still dangling from my finger. She tilted her head. Are you lost? She rallied out the door and climbed back onto a bench to pick up her crossword right where I'd interrupted it, while I stayed behind to explain why I'd hauled a grown woman in off the street. A toddler was doing a crossword.
He just found a 40-year-old that's stupid, and he did it. And first of all, he carried a 40-year-old that's 2 feet and thought it was a toddler. Are we serious? Second of all, she brought her to the police station, and then after this 40-year-old knows the word IDIOT. I'm not gonna say it in real life, but why? Third of all, why did he go to the police station? That made no sense at all. Why? Well, everybody drop.
My older brother gave me a pair of brand new Jordans and said Santa Claus got them for me. I was 8 years
old and he has the same clothes. He's 8 years old and he has the same clothes. Bro, he's 23.
Old and believed him instantly.
Bro looks like he was 23, bro. He looked like he was 23 and then now he looked the same when he was 8. Are we serious right now?
My older brother gave me a pair of brand new Jordans and said Santa Claus got them for me. I was 8 years old and believed him instantly. Before Kyle, our fridge was empty most nights, and my mom worked doubles just to keep the lights on. Then Kyle started coming home with food, clothes, things we never had before, all from the North Pole. Our neighbor got a brand new microwave, and the family across the street got winter coats for...
Did his brother really go to the North Pole and got those presents for the neighbors? And some kids from the neighbors? If that was me, I would love it! Why is it not me?
Their kids. So when 2 cops knocked on our door one night asking where Kyle was, I lied and said, he's not home, because the only thing Kyle asked for in return was that I couldn't tell anyone. That lasted anyone on our block who needed it.
They go to the news.
In our neighborhood who couldn't afford to buy them from stores. My teacher stopped smiling halfway through and asked to talk to my parents after school. That Friday, 2 cops knocked on our door and I smiled like usual and said, he's not home, exactly the way Kyle taught me. They didn't believe me this time. They came back with a warrant and walked Kyle out of his room in handcuffs. I just stood in the doorway. I didn't understand what was happening. Kyle looked at me on the way out and said, it's okay, buddy. Don't worry about me. That night, I found out what the North Pole really was. Kyle had been stealing from a massive...
He's a thief. Bro thought he got a gift for everyone, but he's a thief. Why, bro? Why? My mom here. Okay. That's all we're gonna watch for today. We'll watch more tomorrow. Peace out, guys. Peace out, y'all. Peace out. I can't leave with you, dude. 19 minutes. Okay, y'all. That's gonna be the end of our video. I hope you had a great day, and yeah, we're gonna watch more of his story. Peace.